Take a look at this picture. This is from Wichita, Kansas. Look what this thing says. America, we have a Muslim president. This is a sin against the Lord. And this is the Spirit One Christian Center spokesperson. In fact, this is the pastor. His name is Mark Holick. Here's what he had to say about this.
The main point of the marquee is to cause the Christians to understand he is not a Christian. Again, they would call me and they would tell me he's not a Muslim because he is a Christian. That's not the point. The point is he's not a Christian.
Is there a point there? Now look at this sign. This is from South Carolina. This is back in April, by the way. Take a look what this says. Obama, Osama. Are they brothers? What's going on here? Why do we seem to see these types of things in this country at this particular point? Is it just, you know, episodic? I mean, there are people who are angry that their side lost the election, or is there something more deep here? Something perhaps more meaningful that may have a longer effect? Wayne Slater is the senior political writer for the Dallas Morning News. He's good enough to join us. This is the guy who interviewed George Bush when George Bush said that he had been told by God to run. So, you know, it all comes back into politics. Wayne, you and I were talking earlier. You said you think a lot of this has to do with just race.
I think it does. You remember, in fact, I remember talking to George Bush when he was the governor of Texas about the signs, the billboards that used to be all over the South about 50 years ago. And when I was a little kid, I used to see them. Big picture, Martin Luther King gathered at some kind of meeting, and a headline that said, Martin Luther King at Communist Planning Session. Totally false, totally not true, and absolutely believed by a certain percentage of not crazy people, Rick, but otherwise decent people in places like the South. Well, this has been with us.
But then you have to consider who are these people, and is it generational? Because I guess what we got to wrap our heads around is how long are we going to have to deal with this kind of ignorance?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's ignorance. It's absolutely not true. He was born in the United States, Barack Obama. He is not a Muslim, and yet there are people who hold on to this. And part of this, I think, is a intent to believe what people want to believe about their environment, because their environment is changing. Things are happening. 2 weeks before the election, 23% of Texans in a University of Texas poll said they believe Barack Obama is a Muslim. That's astonishing. That's crazy. Do they all really believe that? And of those Texans, I think as we look at a more recent study, a post-election poll done by a faith-based, religious, moderate conservative faith-based group, it showed that younger evangelicals were much less likely to believe this kind of stuff than their elders. 1/3 of white evangelicals under the age of 30 were receptive to and favored Barack Obama. Less than 1/4 of their parents did. And so what we're seeing, I think, is a generational divide, and these younger people are less likely to believe some of these crazy ideas.
You're good. Fascinating numbers. So much. Thanks so much for sharing those with us. We'll keep getting you back. You and I were together in Austin, Texas on Saturday morning. Enjoyed it. Your books are fantastic. We'll keep getting you on as a guest. Wayne Slater. Thanks for being with us. Dallas Morning News.